You told him to go sin and come back.
That's right, yeah. I said, Johnny, go sin a little bit and come back and sing me some songs that will give us some advantage, because we are just dyed-in-the-wool country boys here, and we had no magic so far as any great plan to do something other than I totally was not interested in making records that were just another record. I don't care how beautiful it was. I wanted it something that was different and would show kinship between the black and white races, certainly at least in their music, because it was so close akin one to the other that the combination, because I'd heard it all my life as a child on the farm in Alabama, northwest Alabama, Florence, and I really, truly knew that if we could do something that would have that feel, that we would have something that would be very interesting. And so I made it become a project that if we didn't succeed, it was as much my fault as it was theirs. That took a lot of pressure off of them and loosened them up for what I think their true abilities when they would do something like they would do at home and not in the presence of some mogul.
Some of the younger ones were kind of out there, weren't they?
Oh yeah, but that if that's the way they saw it, that's the way it should be, you know.
One of my great inspirations was a black man that came to live with us during the Depression, and he was blinded by syphilis. But Uncle Silas Payne, he would take me, and I was a little old skinny kid, really very, very sickly, and put me on his knee and grab me by my bony shoulder and say, "Samuel, you're going to grow up to be a big man someday."
Well, two things is my love. Radio was my first love and still is, and I'll never get over loving radio. I'm still in radio. Now, the other one is, of course, creating something different and hopefully very, very new with what I had seen and felt and known all my life especially as a young person on the farms in Alabama. And I have been blessed more than anybody I know in this world. And don't think that we didn't have to go through an awful lot, but we somehow or the other believed in it enough until we really broke it. And I certainly would be lying to you if I thought that our posterity would be what it is today. But I thank God for that, because I've been around to see it and know for sure. That makes life really worthwhile, and I just am telling you that young people today ought to look for the creative ends of it, because that is what is the most satisfying. This money and stuff that you get, that'll come and go, and you may waste it or you may save it or whatever. But for the sheer joy of making music, because it is, in my judgment, and I've found nothing to the contrary in my 78 years on this earth, it is the greatest form of communication that God has given us on the face of this earth. And it has proved that to me so many different ways in so many different countries that I have seen. I said, I think during the Depression, if you come out of the Depression and you didn't learn something, I mean, I tell you must have been brain dead, you know what I mean? And yeah, Sonny said, picking cotton will encourage you to play music. There's no amount of brains and dollars and cents and stuff that can bring you around to getting the joy out of doing something in sound that I see and feel until this day, and always will until I'm no longer around physically. Well, listen, I sure do appreciate your time.
He was a driving force behind the start of rock and roll, and acts like Elvis Presley. Sam Phillips, founder of Sun Records, has died in Memphis. He was 80.
Devoted to Sam Phillips, one of the most important figures in the behind-the-scenes history of rock and roll. He died today of respiratory failure at the age of 80.
It's really mind-boggling sometimes to think of how rock and roll enabled us to bring this big world a little closer together. It ended up doing more than all the damn diplomats did in all the years we've had diplomats. Something to realize you had a part in all that. I mean, rock and roll was supposed to ruin us, remember? Sam Phillips, quoted in the Chicago Tribune, and in the Los Angeles Times.
He wanted to capture the light in a bottle, that moment, that thing that is not tangible. He obviously wanted to sell records, but I don't think that was the goal. Memphis commercial appeal writer Larry Nager.
They ought to be beating the bushes for entrepreneurial people that are hungry, who can and want and will shake the talent out of the trees. Hasn't even entered their minds. All they want to do is build bigger studios and get more synthesizers and all this. I have nothing against improved sound. In fact, I'm for it. But my God, let's don't substitute sound for soul and feel. Sam Phillips, in an interview to Salon Magazine.
We're remembering Sam Phillips, who died today at the age of 80.
There's something about your voice, coming out of the night, out of the light, out of the sky, out of the ground. Over the airwaves comes your voice, on a little radio.
For God's sake, let's don't become conformists, please. You can be a nonconformist and not be a rebel. And you can be a rebel and not be an outcast.
What I did was open a place that these people could come in and do what they were born to do. Use the talent God gave them. Sam Phillips, to me.
Sam Phillips has died at 80, but not before he had turned the world of music upside down.
Sam Phillips taught me many things, but the one thing I will carry with me as long as I live is this. If you never accept anything but the best from yourself, you'll probably get the best from those around you. Thank you, Sam.
If ever there was anybody who could wake up in the morning, hear, recognize, and distill the symphony of life, it was Sam.
July 30th, 2003. On this day, the renegades, and the nonconformists, and the rebels lost their champion, Sam Phillips.
I sure do appreciate your time.